Good evening, everyone. My name is Jesse Nathanson, President of the Syms Student Council on the Wilf campus, and this is Yafa Jerishow, President on the Barron campus. Thank you all so much for coming tonight. We are happy to... We are proud and happy to announce that this year is the biggest Syms Dinner in recent history, and it was sold out in just 3 days. This year has been filled with many exciting events and accomplishments for our school. We have more Syms clubs than ever before, a total of 15, each coming with new exciting ideas and passions. Our devoted student council and club heads have put in tremendous amount of time to make sure that we offer the Syms student body events and opportunities that they need to embark on their career paths. This year, Syms SC was involved with many successful events, including an event where we had Naftali Bennett come speak, an exciting program called Leading with Meaning, where we hosted a panel of Israeli entrepreneurs, and have offered our students motivation on entering the workforce as Orthodox Jews. In addition, we offered site visits to different companies, including Google, Grant Thornton, and the World Trade Center. At these site visits, our students get to meet professionals in the field that they are interested in and hopefully continue a relationship. Having speakers such as Naftali Bennett, Leading with Meaning, and How to Be Orthodox in the Workplace, it demonstrates that the Syms School of Business is more than just a business school to further a career path. We are also about being Orthodox Jews engaged in Israel, politics, and society. By offering motivation on entering the workforce as Orthodox Jews, it stresses that at Syms, being an Orthodox Jew in the workplace is relevant and matters.
Something new and exciting that we started this year was to have a major push for social media. We all know that we live in a world that is run by social media. Businesses today must be up to date and savvy with their advertising expertise. Therefore, we decided that there's no better place to start utilizing this than at our own business school. One of our goals this year was to have an increased effort to make information more accessible to our students via Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We make sure every event is posted to these pages. Therefore, we decided to continue this social innovation tonight at the dinner. Throughout the night, we encourage you to take part in the fun and hashtag Syms Dinner 2014 to your Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. Feel free to congratulate on friends on an award, post a selfie of you eating at the buffet, or anything else you can think of. We want to thank those who already started to partake in the fun. We hold the annual Syms Dinner to celebrate these achievements, our school, and the student body. Thank you for all being a part of making our school so special. We hope you enjoy tonight. This portion of the evening is dedicated to the graduating class and other fellow students who have excelled academically while here at Syms.
To get the night started, we'd like to call upon Associate Dean Mike Strauss, one of the masterminds behind Syms, to say a few words. Dean Strauss.
Thank you very much for the kind words. Thank you, Yafa. It's really great to be here. Good evening and welcome to all of you. This is a very, very special occasion, the Syms Student Council Dinner. I want to welcome all of you and all of our students, our parents, and faculty. But particularly, I want to welcome the students. We have 575 students. We had 412 students 3 years ago when the new team took over. And I'm very, very excited because while we have two different events tonight, or this event here, and then we go out to dinner, we're going to hear President Joel speak, and Dean Pava is going to say a few words. As far as I'm concerned, to me, this is the part that's most important because we're recognizing the excellent achievements of our students. As I've said many, many times before, we are blessed to have so many great men and women in our student body. They're bright, they're respectful, they're polite, they're inquisitive, energetic, and a pleasure to be around. This is certainly a major reason why I'm here. So what I'd like to do before we get into the events, I'd like to do two things. I'd like to first introduce a few of our, and recognize a few of the people that are sitting up front. And then I just want to very, very briefly, Dean Pava will spend a little bit more time at dinner sharing with you some of the exciting things that have transpired at the Syms School in the last several years, but I'd like to just give you some highlights of what we've accomplished during the last 3 years. So first, doesn't need any introduction, President Joel, who's also a professor teaching our leadership non-for-profit. Next to him is Dr. Henry Crisell, who's chairman of our Board of Trustees, and special mazel tov to Dr. Crisell. He just got engaged to Rena Uziel, his fiancée, who's sitting right next to him. Next to him is another person who doesn't need introduction. Without her, we wouldn't be here today. Member of our Board of Overseers, Marcy Syms, who also will speak to you later. My friend, my colleague, and the person who, for the most part, is responsible for really the great success we've had, Dr. Pava, sitting right there. Next to him, I'm not going to introduce the entire faculty because otherwise we'll be here all evening. Next to him is Dr. Giloni, who is part of what I call the Dream Team, who is the Associate Dean and also the Director of the Honors Program. I'm going to skip a few, and I'm going to introduce Ariel Fishman, who's Professor of Management and Director of Institutional Research. Behind President Joel is a real good friend of Cy Syms, Avi Lauer, who is also General Counsel, and also actually wears two hats. He teaches the MBA course, and he also now teaches a new course, Social Entrepreneurship. Next to him is Alan Sector. Alan is not new with the organization, not new with Yeshiva University, but he's taken over. Many of you knew Susan Myers. He's taken over recently the responsibilities of Susan Meyer for fundraising for Cy Syms. Dr. Scott Goldberg, who is Vice Provost for Teaching and Learning. Then we have right next to him someone who is a good friend, also on the Board of Overseers, and many, many years ago, I gather 17 years ago, was Vice President of Academic Affairs, Bill Schwartz. Is Michael Scagnoli in the room? What? Oh, no, I didn't forget someone. Don't worry about it. Okay, the only other one before I introduce Selma is back there is Mark Goldman, who is Executive Director of the Career Center. And last but not least, I do want to introduce Dr. Selma Batman. Dr. Batman will officially take over as the provost on July 1, when our current provost, Mort Longrab, retires after, I believe, 12 years. 15? Sorry, after 15 years. Dr. Batman has an extremely interesting and very impressive background, including vast number of achievements at several universities. We are very fortunate, and I've had the opportunity to work with her very closely the last couple of weeks, that she has joined Yeshiva University, particularly at this time when we need a visionary and a strong leader with leadership skills. Dr. Batman. I hope I did not miss, if I missed anyone, it's not purposefully. So let me just take 2 minutes to share with you a few words about Syms. The last few years, we have witnessed the revitalization of the Cy Syms School of Business with significant strengthening of the school's leadership and overall direction, faculty, curriculum, and learning environment, all aimed at better preparing Syms students for professional and business success. The Syms transformation emphasizes the centrality of ethics, entrepreneurship, and experience-based learning. In the past few years, the school has had many accomplishments. Just a few of them. As I mentioned before, we were able to increase our student count from 412 3 years ago to 575. We've been very, very blessed, and particularly thank Dean Pava for his effort in getting us accredited. We've been accredited by the AACSB. We're one of 672 business schools out of 10,000 business schools that have accreditation. We launched a new Sunday Executive Masters of Business Administration, and we're in the process of getting the third cohort. We developed many courses, course in business communications, which is in lieu of speech, course in leadership for nonprofits, which our president is teaching, a course in social entrepreneurship, which Avi Lauer is co-teaching, and several other courses. We also introduced a business honors and entrepreneurial leadership program, which Associate Dean Dr. Galoni heads, and we have, 75 students? Around 75 students in the program the third year, which I don't think is all that bad. And we substantially increased internship opportunities for students in finance, in entrepreneurship, and accounting, and marketing, not-for-profit organization, and also strengthened the faculty with 4 new tenure track hires. Lastly, we've also enhanced the focus on teaching, student advisement, and career development. So we've accomplished quite a bit, but we still have a lot to go. We're very, very pleased, and you're going to hear quite a bit more from Dr. Pava at dinner. Thank you. And now on, no need for applause. And now on with the ceremonies. So it is my distinct pleasure to introduce the next speaker, Dr. Henry Cassell. Dr. Cassell optimizes everything Yeshiva University stands for. He has uniquely combined the worlds of Torah Mata throughout his life, and he continually strives for excellence in all endeavors he has undertaken. He is a renowned scientist and engineer. He holds 31 patents, and in his spare time, he is trustee of Congregation Kehilat Yeshurun, and is also the chairman of the Board of Trustees of Yeshiva University. He graduated from Yeshiva College in 1955, and then went on to receive a degree from Harvard and separate degrees from Wharton and from Penn. It's most appropriate that Dr. Cassell is speaking tonight, as he has always been a strong supporter of Syms School of Business and has been intimately involved in its growth. At Syms, our vision is to excel in the business community as well as to give back to the Jewish community and Jewish causes. Dr. Cassell, who is the managing director of Warburg Pincus and chairman of the board of YU, exemplifies the role of all us here today. Dr. Cassell has climbed the highest heights in business world, but at the same time hasn't forgotten his communal responsibility. We must all remember, after coming home from long days at the office, that we too have a communal responsibility to Yeshiva University or to our local organization. I now like to call upon Dr. Cassell.
Thank you so much for all these kind words. And I'm really delighted to be here as part of this event, because both as an individual and as a trustee of Yeshiva University, I just want to tell you how proud we all are of the progress that's been made in the school, the increased enrollment, the greatly improved faculty, and the fact that we're turning out remarkably well-qualified students. The question has always been asked, and I get this asked all the time, what's the purpose of a business education? After all, shouldn't people learn a skill, write software, I don't know, become a carpenter or something? Why learn business? How is that a discipline? And my answer is that I'm standing in front of you as a proof that a business education is really valuable. So if I may take a bit of your time, let me tell you why. I graduated college with a degree in physics and math, and I really did not take any other courses that were not required. And I got a fellowship to Harvard in applied physics, but the summer between my graduation and starting Harvard, I had a summer job at a company called Curtis Wright Corporation, which I won't trouble you what it does, but in those days it used to make jet engines. Not very well, it wasn't very profitable. And in the course of doing that, about a month into the job, there was an announcement over the loudspeaker that Section 6 and 7 and everybody sat in a huge bullpen. Section 6 and 7 will please report to the finance office to collect the last paycheck because they're being laid off as of that day. And it struck me that I really didn't understand anything about business. I mean, how can you treat people this way? So I was talking to friends and I said, maybe you should go to business school. And I applied to Harvard and Wharton, and I got into both, but chose Wharton because there were no classes on Shabbos in those days. And at Wharton, I majored in finance, actually, and which I knew nothing about, and in management, and then ended up at the RCA Corporation. But the important lesson that came through, I think, for my career, and I encourage all of you, is that a business education is a great framework in which to work a career, but you must become experts in some specific industrial or commercial enterprise in order to make the best use of it. So anyway, I decided that I was going to go back into engineering after completing my MBA. And after some years, I ended up running the corporate R&D for RCA and electronic devices. And then I decided to move into the financial world and became a partner at Warburg Pincus. But what's very important is all those years, and that what a business education gives you is the ability to understand the world in a very generalized and very complex framework. You learn economics, you learn finance, you learn accounting, you learn all the things which are the underpinnings of our economic life. Now, there are disciplines, engineering, etc., that go into all that, but basically the framework is what you call business in the education that you have. So if you have the slightest doubt that you're getting the right education, don't doubt it. It's a great start for life. But just remember, all throughout your life and all your career, you must continue to learn, you must understand the specifics of these industries that you're going to be joining. You must understand the importance of entrepreneurship, because that's what builds the world, is entrepreneurs, and I think it's a very strong emphasis in the school here, which is great. And you must also remember one more thing, that the continuity and the fact that we as Jews continue to be a force in the world is because of three major pillars. One of them is education, the second is community, and the third is economics. Because poor people cannot sustain education, and poor people cannot sustain a community. So it is our responsibility to make sure that we can do those, and to do that, we must focus to further our economic development, to allow us to continue the mission that we have as Jews. And you're in the right place to do it. We have a great institution, we have a great mission, and I want to wish you all continued success, and you're going to have great careers in front of you. It is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Marcy Syms, who received an honorary degree from Yeshiva University, and she's a most remarkable person. And I think if there's a role model that's needed, she certainly provides it. She has done it all. She's a business person. She was at the Syms Corporation. She has served on a number of boards. She has done public service. She's very active in philanthropy, and she's been a great friend of Yeshiva University, and since 1987 has served at the Board of Overseers. So it's my pleasure to introduce her to give you a message from the Board of Overseers of the Syms Schools. Marcy?
I guess the message for the overseers is we are going to get that well overdue meeting on the calendar in June. Okay, now that that's over with. This is really momentous because we have supposedly 360 people who are attending this evening. And to me, it's a very, very special evening because it is the students, about the life of being a student here at the Syms School, and the faculty, and of course those parents that are here. So it's really mishpacha, and that's why it is such a fabulous thing to participate in. And thinking about mishpacha, I was thinking about my dad, of course, and how proud he would be. And also thinking about the length of time. How long has it been since Syms clothing went public and the idea of off-price was like a new word in the new vocabulary for business, certainly for Wall Street. And that event created the wealth that translated into the philanthropy that created the school, along with a lot of other people who the moment was right for yeshiva to think about creating a business school. And I found a copy of an article. I have books and books of scrapbooks of newspaper print, most of it yellowing. But there was one that was particularly, I thought, that would be really enjoyed by the faculty and by the students of the Syms School. And it was in the Daily News, and it ran in January of 1987. And if you will indulge me, I had this put into a plaque. I told Jesse that I was going to give it to Jesse and Yafa, and they were going to be able to put that in the student lounge so that everyone could read it, because none of the students who were here, obviously, were, part of those first few years and may not have even heard how things got going. One way or another, it all starts with a check, right? But I must tell you, as someone who was involved in several of those meetings, there is a lot of human capital that goes into it. Many, many hours and passion of human capital to get something like a school off the ground. So here we go. And the headline is, for retailer Syms, Yeshiva's new school of business is his best reward. It may seem like a big step from selling educated consumers to educating the business leaders of tomorrow, but for businessman Syms, the move is a natural progression. Syms, known as much for his distinctive radio and TV spots as for the chain of clothing stores that bears his name, is the namesake of Yeshiva University's brand new School of Business, an honor he sees as one of the greatest accomplishments of his life. Opening in September of 1987 with an expanded enrollment of some 400 undergraduates, the Syms School of Business will initially offer courses leading to the Bachelor of Science degree with specializations in accounting, banking, finance, securities, and information systems. Corporate management and administration and marketing and merchandising, Syms' own areas of expertise, will be added as majors in the next few years. Somewhere down the road are plans for graduate programs. Syms' involvement with yeshiva began, he recalls, about 4 years ago. This is a quote, when I first became associated with yeshiva, I was surprised and shocked that there was no school of business, especially since many Jews were forced into entrepreneurism when they came to this country. It seemed like such a natural thing. From that first day when I felt, my God, how come there is no business school here, until now, some 4 years later, this has been a very special project for me and for other lay leaders in the university. 18 business leaders, including Syms, have been named founders of the School of Business. Among them, they have contributed and raised more than $12 million so far, and academic chairs have been endowed in accounting, banking, and finance, business, law, and economics. Why another school of business in what many see as an already crowded field? Increasingly, student demand is the bottom line. That was a quote, of course, from my father. Until now, the university's primary emphasis has been in the sciences. Economics courses were available, but only in a minor way. Introduction of an accounting major 6 years ago proved very popular, and many of yeshiva students have been asking for an expanded business curriculum. A number of prospective students who liked yeshiva eventually went elsewhere because of the lack of a business school. There's also a feeling that the time is right in the business world, Syms notes, for yeshiva's special synthesis of ethical values and academic excellence. Celebrating its 100th anniversary this year as the only university in North America under Jewish auspices, Yeshiva has traditionally integrated Jewish philosophical and cultural studies into its general curricula. Combined with its well-known level of academic achievement, quote, "We feel strongly that in 10 years we will be graduating future corporate CEOs," says Syms. Ironically, Syms himself did not go to business school. He majored in radio broadcasting and production and worked for a short time as a play-by-play sports announcer. Quote, "I probably would have been that much better off if I'd had an education in business management," Syms reflects. Quote, "Certainly, it's still possible to make it in business without the formal background, but there's no question that the sort of foundation that the school will provide is vitally important," end of quote. As proof that nothing is wasted, however, Syms wound up using his own broadcasting background for many years by doing his own ads. Sounding like a proud papa, Syms insists, quote, "There is a difference between Yeshiva and other schools. The students here are incredibly dedicated and motivated. When they go in for a curriculum, they really mean business and treat it as if they are at work." Out of 29 accounting majors who graduated last June, and the school has only been graduating accounting majors for 6 years, 22 were immediately hired by the big 8, get that, 8, of accounting firms. Syms' excitement about the student body is reflected in his degree of involvement in the business school. Along with serving as chairman of the Board of Trustees Development Committee of the university, he's a major contributor to the university in general as in the new program, and the new program in particular. Syms is not limiting his role to fundraising, however. He has made frequent visits to the campus, meeting with students. That was like his favorite thing, meeting with the students. Herbert Schiff, former dean of the New York University School of Business, has been named dean of the Syms School. Quote, "We're very happy with that appointment and feel he will be able to expand on our excellent faculty," says Syms. Along with what Syms characterizes as outstanding theoreticians as faculty, equal emphasis was placed on practical expertise. The extensive use of the computer technology and applications will be integral to the school's program, as will research and development through study of ethical, social, and political influences, as well as organizational theory, behavioral, and interpersonal communications. The program will also focus on linkages between the individual business person and the larger community. Doesn't it sound very much like what Mr. Rossell just told us a few minutes ago? That we've been true, well, I'll finish this. The school, which has been approved by the state of New York, will be located on the university's main campus in Amsterdam at 185th Street in Washington Heights. And I think one of the things that has, to me, meant so much over the years about being part of the Syms Corporation, about being part of Yeshiva, is that in both entities, we recognize that values don't change. Tactics change, but our values don't. And values that resonate as meaningful, live on and can only grow and thrive with our individual and collective dedication and hard work. So it's great to be here, and I hope you enjoy reading it on your own when you have the chance. Now we're going to hear about the faculty members who have been recognized by the students as this year's outstanding faculty. Am I correct? Okay. Thank you very much.
When asking a student to do an introduction for his or her teacher, this introduction takes on a specific style most closely resembled by that of a Texas Longhorn. The student is usually able to find two sharp points, but often has to fill it with a lot of bull in between. Fortunately, at YU, we have a different model as represented by Dr. Galit Ben-Joseph. The unique aspect is that I don't know whether to note her academic titles or her real-world experience first. Dr. Ben-Joseph holds a doctorate from the Lubin School of Business, an MBA from the Zicklin School of Business, and an MA from Columbia University Teachers College. However, equally important is that she is a past VP at Goldman and JP Morgan, and current Vice President and Wealth Advisor at Neuberger Berman, where she manages investment portfolios for high net worth clients. How amazing is it that YU offers the students with the ability to learn the real applicability from professors with experience in practicing what they preach. One other special aspect of her class is the schedule and assignments, which are due on time and with a high degree of punctuality. So on that note, please help me welcome and congratulate Dr. Galit Ben-Joseph so that I can hand her my assignment that was due yesterday. Thank you.
Thank you so much. This is so nice, and I am so grateful and appreciative. Thank you, Adam. I want to thank the deans, Dean Pava, Dean Strauss, Dean Galoni, for all your support. I want to thank my chair, Dr. Avnet, for all of your support. But most importantly, the students. You are all so amazing. You are incredible. You don't know how amazing you are. You are, as we've said, you're kind. You're so respectful. You're so smart, and you're going to be so successful. So I thank you so much for this. Again, I'm so appreciative. I want to most importantly also thank Dr. Fred Palumbo, who hired me and brought me to this wonderful institution. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Before I present Professor Crawford with the Adjunct Professor of the Year Award, I'd like to take a moment to note what makes us so special and really deserving of this award. Anyone who knows, anyone who took her class, Professor Crawford comes into class with this great passion to teach, always being excited, and dedicating her time for helping us grow, prepare, and succeed in the wider business world. Professor Crawford is truly an amazing professor who, with her great sense of humor, which always, again, anyone who took her class knows, which includes drawing smiley faces on the board when the calculations add up, which really keeps it exciting, engaging, and entertaining. And to be honest, really such a feat is really unparalleled and really something that we appreciate in you, Professor. And Professor, it's a great opportunity, it's a great pride, admiration, and respect that I present to you this Adjunct Professor Year Award. On behalf of the entire student population, thank you and congratulations.
Well, I am humbled by this award and amazed that an accounting teacher could actually be popular. But it's not hard to be a teacher to students like you. You are, as the previous professor said, you're kind, you're earnest, you really want to learn. I try to make the class fun because you make teaching fun. So thank you again. I wish you all the luck in the world. Please stay in touch because I know you're all going to be very successful. And remember, I want Professor Crawford's words ringing in your ears when things happen. Thank you again.
Yeah, I'll find Jesse. Would you please come up? want to make sure that the mic is in front of me. I have the honor, distinct honor and pleasure to present the Service and Character Award to really two very, very special people, Yafa and Jesse. On both sides. I've worked very closely with particularly Jesse for the last 2 years. Many of you may know that this is the second year as the president of the Student Council, and Yafa this year as the president of the Student Council. So I've worked with many, many committed students before, but I have to tell you that it's rarely that I've worked with two people the likes of these two people. They're so committed, they're so relentless. This morning, just to give you an example, I usually come in pretty early, and Jesse knows, and it was about 10 to 7, and I get a text, I'm in the car stuck on the Cross Bronx, and he said, "Are you in already?" And I said, "No, I'm stuck on it." He says, "Well, I'm sitting in front of your office when you come in." True? He was there. At any rate, they're very, very hardworking, very deserving of this award, and I'm just delighted to give you the award. The only problem is we're going to miss him next year. Thank you, sir. Now I need to, if I find, okay. Now I'd like to have Talia Kugelman come up, please. Jonathan Danish and Ari Feiger. By the way, the announcement of Talia is going to be, she's the next year. Talia is next year's president of the Student Council. We have not yet elected the male president. Brett, I'd like to call Brett Bar-Ailey up, please. I want to give him 2 awards. He gets the Service and Character Award, the Professor Richard William Memorial Award for Service and Character, as well as the Bernard Brown Award for Business Study. Forgot to call Dr. Hockman to please come up. No Dvar Torah today, Dr. Hockman.
Thank you, and a Chodesh Tov to one and all. I am proud to present to the audience the following best of the best students in the accounting department. For the Dr. Joseph Kersner Award for Accounting, Malia Weiss, please come forward. For the Henry Mancher Award for Excellence in Accounting, Benjamin Leibowitz. For the Joseph Herbst Award for Excellence in Accounting, Eyal Greenberg. And for the Henry Brad Award for Accounting Scholarship Service, Michelle Wigner. Mazel tov.
Everybody. At this point, I'd like to go ahead and present the Dean's Award for Scholastic Achievement in Information and Decision Sciences to Shane D. Hirsch. Now, I'd like to call upon Dr. Avri Ravid, who will be going ahead and presenting the Finance Awards.
It's my pleasure to present the Dean's Award for Scholastic Achievement in Finance to three students. First is Stephen Schenker. Stephen has worked 2 summers for Mellys and Company in investment banking and has accepted a full-time position upon graduation. We all wish him well. We have Nina Rosen, who is actually accepted to 2 law schools and still considering which one will be the lucky institution. So we wish her all the best. And Daniela Brecher, who is also a stellar student, and we're very happy to give the award to her as well.
So Avri didn't introduce me. So I'm Professor Tamar Avnet, the Chair of Management and Marketing. So I'll be happy to present first the awards for management. So the Dean's Award for Scholastic Achievement of Management goes to Mitchell Rosenberg. The Dean's Award for Scholastic Achievement in Management also goes to Josh Eliyahu-Zada. And the Dean's Awards for Scholastic Achievement in Management goes to Tova Kay. Now for the Marketing Awards, the Dean's Awards for Scholastic Achievement in Marketing, Daniel Chasky. The Dean's Award for Scholastic Achievement in Marketing, Stephen Cortell. Award for Scholastic Achievement in Marketing to Daniela Felix. And now I would like to invite Professor Claire Zackheim, who's the Director of Academic Advisement.
Very pleased to present the awards for highest ranking junior. It's the Dean Michael Schiff Memorial Award for the highest ranking junior. We have 4 students: Yechiel Auman, Stephen Glott, Max Spector, and Alana Schreier. I just want to mention that Stephen and Alana are a very recently engaged couple. So Syms is about more than just business. I'd like to introduce Dean Avi Galoni to present the awards, the valedictorian and salutatorian awards.
So I think we all can say that this evening is an occasion when we, faculty, staff, administration, students, parents, and just the entire greater YU family, we have an opportunity to take a step back and look at the fruits of our labor. Indeed, all of our students have the great opportunity and the responsibility to engage in a rigorous dual curriculum. It's a challenge, but one which provides our students with the skill set to be the next generation of Jewish business leaders. We are proud of all your accomplishments, and we wish you much success in all of your future endeavors. However, 4 students have set themselves apart from the rest by reaching even higher accolades. And so, I'd like to go ahead and call up the 2 salutatorium awards. The first one goes to Danielle Trotsky. That's the... The Syms School of Business Salutatorian Award for the Barron Campus. And then the Syms School of Business Salutatorian Award for the Wilf Campus goes to Eyal Greenberg. And now the valedictorians. The Dean Howard Nerlenberg Memorial Valedictorian Award goes to Benjamin Leibowitz and Malia Weiss.
Let me propose a question to you. Is bluffing in business ethical? This is the title of an article written by Albert Carr in the Harvard Business Review in 1968. He suggests that bluffing in business can be regarded simply as game strategy, and it does not reflect on the morality of the bluffer. In his view, when it comes to business, there's a separation between everyday ethics and business ethics. His essential point is that the ethics of business are game ethics, different from the ethics of religion. However, such a viewpoint is diametrically opposed to a Jewish worldview in which it is stated in Proverbs 3-6, B'chol deracheha da'ehu, which is the imperative to serve God in everything we do and wherever we are, whether in the street or home, workplace, or synagogues. The Syms School of Business is unique. We have spent the last few years not only engaged in secular studies, preparing for our future careers, but also grappling with Jewish studies, and at particular times with texts and halachot that provide ethical and religious underpinnings to guide us as we seek a foothold in the world of business. It's especially relevant today, as sadly, the Jewish world has been rocked by too many examples of businessmen who have forgotten that ethics goes hand in hand with religious observance. It behooves us then to ask ourselves, not merely what YU represents, but what we represent as graduates of YU. During my 4 years in the Syms School of Business, I've been fortunate enough to receive a comprehensive education in accounting, finance, and business. I'll wait for that to pass. intermission. Um, so I have learned how to read balance sheets, prepare spreadsheets, and analyze tax issues, while also being encouraged to think creatively as an entrepreneur. One of my favorite classes, taught by Professor Leonard Schlegel, was tax accounting. I can see that some of you in the audience have a look of surprise on your face. But if you were in the classroom experiencing Professor Schlegel's vast intelligence and contagious passion for the subject of tax, it would no longer be a mystery as to why I want to pursue a career in tax law. He is an example of the kind of teachers that we are fortunate to have in the Syms School of Business. The Syms community is one family. Even the hashtags on the Syms Instagram account, which I kind of shut off now, are one Syms, one network, one family. While we are all part of Yeshiva University, Syms is an especially close-knit group. There are numerous business and social events, such as the Syms Shabbaton, company site visits, and the Kukin Lecture Series, which invite top executives to come speak. The presidents of the Student Council, Yafa Jarasho and Jesse Nathanson, work tirelessly to make sure that every event is educational, interesting, and fun. Thank you for planning such a beautiful event. I would like to congratulate Benji Leibowitz on receiving the Valedictorian Award on Wilf campus. My fellow students and friends in the class of 2014 are motivated and driven to succeed. While the competition helps us thrive, we do not let that interfere with our friendships and support of each other. The strong alumni base and their desire to maintain their connection to Syms and its students is indicative of the familial environment here in Syms. In what other university can any student have a close relationship with one of the deans? Dean Strauss, your success, both personal and in the growth of Syms, is an inspiration to me in pursuing my own career. Along with Dean Pava and Associate Dean Galoni, you were instrumental in the revival and expansion of the Syms School of Business. On a more personal note, you constantly check in, ask for feedback, and go above and beyond to assist the student body. On behalf of Benji and I, thank you, Dean Pava, Associate Dean Galoni, and Associate Dean Strauss. I would also like to thank President Richard Joel for being such a fearsome leader and tireless advocate for Syms and Yeshiva University. President Joel, I hope after 4 years of hearing you speak, I picked up some speaking tips. And of course, I would not be here today if I wasn't standing on the shoulders of the people that came before me. Mom and Dad, without your endless guidance and love, I would not have been as encouraged to persevere and excel throughout all these years. I am not afraid to take that leap because I always know you will be there to catch me and support me. You are a power couple that I hope to model my life after. Bubby and Zadie, you graduated from YU, Einstein, Stern, and Wartsweiler's, and you met at a YU Stern Chagiga. Yes, that actually does happen. The two of you have always had tremendous long-term vision in business and for your family. You have always guided me with a soft touch and with the wisdom of your vast experiences. To my Aunt Liba, the first Syms graduate to attend Harvard Law School, you care about me like a sister, second mother, and best friend. While I might be graduating Syms, I am leaving you my two younger brothers. Good luck. Shia is a sophomore in Syms, and Mordecai will be entering the Syms Honors Program in the fall. You both are my rock, two gentle giants watching over me and taking care of me like my own personal bodyguards. To my family, I love you all so much. There would be no School of Business at Yeshiva University if not for Cy Syms and his wife Lynn, and the continuing support of his daughter Marcy Syms. Cy Syms donated tens of millions of dollars from his self-made fortune to found the business school so that we would be able to get the best business education in a Jewish environment. The famous slogan of Cy Syms was, "An educated consumer is our best customer." For us, as proud graduates of the Cy Syms School of Business, we leave this institution with our own slogan: "An ethical, educated student is our best representative." These have been the best years of my life, and I'm really going to miss it. The school, the administrators, the teachers, and my friends. All of it. Thank you so much for everything, and congratulations to the class of 2014.
Congratulations to all of the award winners, and thank you everyone for coming. We would like to invite everyone upstairs for dinner and for the celebration to begin. But wait, before you do, we have a few quick announcements. This evening, you will be receiving an email about giving your senior gift. As everyone knows, many of the students at YU are on scholarship, and giving your senior gift is a nice way to give back and support the school. Anyone who gives their senior gift tonight will be entered into a raffle to win Syms swag. It's just $20.14, so please give.
During the dinner, there will be a short program in which we'll hear a few words from Dean Moses Pava and President Richard Joel. There will also be entertainment, a comedy act with Mark Schiff following dessert. So we have plenty more in store for you, and we're looking forward to seeing you all upstairs. Whoever's interested in davening mincha, we're going to be davening in here once it clears out in just a few moments.
We hope you've enjoyed your night so far. Please continue to eat and enjoy. There will be a short program now with Dean Pava and President Joel, which will be followed by dessert and a comedy act by Mark Schiff. But before we hear from Dean Pava, we wanted to take the time to thank all those that have made the night so special.
Firstly, we would like to welcome and thank Dr. Selma Botman and Dr. Scott Goldberg for coming tonight and contributing to the growth of the Cy Syms School of Business and re-energizing the academic affairs at Yeshiva University. I am fortunate that I have gotten to know both of them quite well over the past several months, and I'm confident with their abilities as educators and leaders. Dr. Botman will be officially taking the provost position effective July 1st, and I'd like for her to have the opportunity to quickly introduce herself to the student body.
Thank you, Jesse. I'm so delighted to be here this evening and honored to be a part of the Yeshiva University community, to work with President Joel and my colleagues, Deans Pava and Strauss and Galoni. What is impressive is how dedicated your faculty are to your success. But what is most inspirational are all of you. And I'd like to just pick up a theme that Dr. Crisell mentioned to you. Recently, I read a book by Andrew Yang called Smart People Build Things. You probably know that book. And really, he could have had many of you in his mind when he wrote this book, because you will go on to build companies, to build units, to employ people, and to contribute to this world. And you make the university proud. Thank you very much for inviting me and letting me share this evening with you.
Thank you. Thank you, President Joel, for being here tonight. We would like to thank you for always having an open door to to us and our fellow students, and despite having your extremely busy schedule as president, you always have been accommodating to our needs.
We would like to thank Vice President Professor Avi Lauer and Vice President Rabbi Josh Joseph for your continued encouragement and guidance throughout the years and for being such a great friend and supporter of the Syms School of Business. Your advice and suggestions have been very beneficial to Syms SC's growth as well as mine. We'd like to thank Mike Scagnoli and the Office of CPA for helping with all of our events and for being a great friend over the past couple of years.
We want to thank the Career Center for helping prepare us for the working world and for help us find summer internships and full-time jobs. You make the experience as a business student in New York so much easier. Mark, Chezi, Rachel, Adina, and everyone in the Office of Student Life for their help this entire year and throughout the planning process. Menachem, Chana, Adam, Isaac, and Sarah, our fellow presidents, and their respected boards for helping us sponsor this evening. We really enjoyed working with you this year and sharing so many good times. No. We would like to thank our board for all their hard work that they've put into this year. We couldn't have been as successful without you. More specifically, John for running every site perfectly, Talia for the amazing social media, and Schmooze for the weekly Syms updates. We would also like to thank our exceptional dinner committee, who this night couldn't have happened without. Josh, Gabe, Jeremy, Alexa, Racheli, and the Syms Student Council.
We'd like to thank everyone in the Syms office and faculty. We're so lucky to have such amazing faculty that care about our student body and are so dedicated to their classes. We thank you for everything that you do for us and for helping us learn and grow as students. We'd like to give a very big special thank you to Robin Hartman from Institutional Advancement, who has been a huge help in planning this event for the past 2 years, and it wouldn't have been as successful without her. And last but not least, we would like to thank the men that have grown the Syms School of Business to the elite business school in New York that has become today. Dean Pava and Associate Dean Strauss and Giloni. We really don't think there is any other school that so many students have such close relationships with the deans. We all feel so fortunate that the three of you are running the school, and we're looking forward to big things coming out of Syms. They say that success at any school starts at the top, and fortunate for us, the leadership of the Syms School of Business is in good hands and has met that challenge. With that being said, we'd like to call the leader of it all, Dean Moses Pavas, to say a few words.
Good evening, everybody. Before I begin, first of all, I just wanted to thank Jesse and Yafa and the whole team who put tonight together. This is a student-run activity, and I'm here as an observer this evening. President Joel, welcome. Chairman Crissell, Provost Botman, Josh Joseph, Avi Lauer, Scott Goldberg, honored guests, teachers, faculty, parents, students, and most important of all, the class of 2014. So my words this evening are actually directed to the class of 2014. The rest of you are certainly welcome to listen in. Class of 2014, you are a special class. You're an especially special class to me and my fellow deans, Mike Strauss and Avi Giloni. Your 3 years on campus coincide with the 3 years of our own administration of the Syms School of Business. So in a sense, I feel like we have grown up together, and I thank you for the companionship on the journey. I'd also like to add, as an aside, that I really want to thank you for your patience as to the misunderstanding about my top secret grading curve, where no one at Syms was ever supposed to get an A again, and that none of you were ever supposed to find out about in the first place. So thank you for your patience. In last week's Parsha, Kedoshim, we are commanded to be holy, for I, the Lord your God, am holy. Ve'amarta alehem kadoshim tiyu ki kadosh ani Hashem Elokeichem. The mitzvah is formulated in the plural, directed to each and every one of us. And this means that each and every one of us must find his or her way to discover and enact holiness in a world that is not always yet holy. Your yeshiva university education, I am proud to say, has prepared you well to answer Hashem's call for holiness as you graduate and you start your own families as full members of the Jewish community. In Judaism, there's a way of experiencing holiness, not from a God's eye perspective, but from a holy human one. As any one of you have ever heard me speak before, you must know by now that I love metaphors. So tonight, please indulge me for a few minutes while I spin out a few more parting metaphors. Experiencing holiness is like dancing. Experiencing holiness is like making music. Experiencing holiness, dare I say, is like making love. To experience holiness from the point of view of these metaphors is to resonate with the deep and primal rhythms of life. It is to be in sync with the very blood pumping through our veins. To be holy is to be mindful and appreciative of each and every breath of air we inhale and exhale, and each piece of food we put into our mouths. Holiness, from this perspective, is a unique kind of energy. Let's call it sacred energy. From a Jewish perspective, celebrating the Jewish holidays, for example, sitting in a sukkah, enjoying the chill air of an early autumn evening with family and friends, or dipping the karpas into salt water at the Pesach Seder, as we did just a couple of weeks ago, is to be in sync with the changing seasons. In fact, nearly every activity in the Jewish life, including all significant life events, are heightened and elevated through practice, religious ritual, and mindfulness. Eating, drinking, even eliminating can be accomplished in consonance with the natural cycles of life and not in opposition to them. In living a Jewish life, we unlock the sacred energy of the everyday world. As one philosopher has put it, we are, as it were, introduced into a world beyond this world, which is, nevertheless, the deeper reality of the world in which we live. There's a kind of paradox here. Some people have called it a strange loop. And if you don't know what a strange loop is, I'm sure you're familiar with the Escher painting, the hands drawing hands. It's a strange loop. To experience heightened levels of holiness, we're not asked to retire from the world like a monk in a monastery, but just the opposite. We're asked to deepen our engagement with the everyday and the mundane. The idea of deepening our engagement with the everyday, it's an important message for everyone, but I believe that it is particularly important for those students like you embarking on a business career. But can we really unleash this kind of sacred energy even in the practice of business? I think the answer is yes. I believe Aaron Feuerstein's decision to rebuild his factory after a major fire had destroyed his old one in Malden, Massachusetts, one of the poorest areas in Massachusetts, was in part a fulfillment of Kedoshim Tiyu. I think Howard Schultz's decision to continue offering Starbucks employees health care benefits, even in the midst of a financial crisis, was a smart business decision, but it was also a way of revealing a hidden but sacred dimension in the retail industry. It turns out that even selling a simple cup of coffee can be done in ways that resonate with the deep and primal rhythms of the universe. Are there any accounting majors in the room? Any accounting majors? Well, when you tell your manager that you will not be part of the next earnings management fraud, You will not only be living up to the aspirations of the accounting profession, but you will be filling the Torah's goal of just and fair measures that we read about just last week in Parshat Kedoshim. I have much confidence in your generation. I had the opportunity this past semester to sit in on Rabbi Ozer Glickman's class on business and halacha, to say is the newest requirement in the Syms School of Business curriculum. Even before I opened the door, I proudly had a chance to scan the faces of the students listening to Rabbi Glickman's discussion of the concept of money from a Torah perspective. Now, given the double program, sometimes students can be a bit antsy in the classroom, to put it mildly, but at least on the day of my visit, I was blown away by the concentration, interest, and questions from the students. I saw firsthand a genuine thirst for knowledge and a practical interest in how best to concretize holiness, Kedoshim Tihiyu, in the everyday world of business. And I want to thank Rabbi Glickman for teaching this class. My intuition about changing attitudes among students in what it really means to be successful in the 21st century was reinforced to me a few months ago in a conversation that I had with a former partner at one of the big four accounting firms. And Dean Strauss was actually there in the room. He can verify this afterwards. The partner was lamenting how difficult it was to motivate students to take the tried and true path to becoming a partner in the accounting firms. And these are his exact words. I wrote them down immediately after the meeting. Students don't seem to care about money as much as they used to. That's what he said. And it stumped him. He was truly dumbfounded. But what he interpreted as a sad fact about your generation, to me, marked a giant leap forward in consciousness. I was meeting this partner to try to get him to hire more of you guys, so I kept my mouth shut, and I nodded to him politely. But this is really what I wanted to say to him. Our students still want to make money, lots of money, but our best students also want to unleash the pent-up sacred energy pulsing through their veins. Students are looking for meaningful work. Give them work that they can love. Give them work that makes them want to dance. And you will see just how motivated our graduates can be. Now, just to be clear, don't worry about your jobs. I didn't actually say this to them. I'm confident that you will be keeping and observing Shabbat as you enter the workforce. I know that many of you have already discussed with your future employers your special religious requirements for Friday and Saturdays. So you may have had a conversation something like this. Oh, and by the way, not only do I observe Shabbat every week, but I will also be taking off 2 days for Rosh Hashanah, 1 day for Yom Kippur, 2 days for Sukkot, and believe it or not, there are 2 more days, Shmini Atzeret and Simchat Torah. Yes, these are real holidays. No, I didn't just make them up. I probably should have told them about Pesach and Shavuos at the same time, but I didn't. Now, this all goes without saying that you're going to keep Shabbat and the holidays. But what makes the Syms School of Business unique among business schools, and I don't want to name names here, let's keep it between ourselves. Let's say, for example, maybe, I don't know, Touro College or Queens College. We're setting the bar higher, much higher. We expect you not only to follow the rules of Shabbat, but we expect you to bring to work with you every day what we might call a Shabbat consciousness. I suggest that such a consciousness is an ethical achievement of the highest order, as well as a religious one. It includes a deep acceptance, gratitude, and respect for Hashem's world as it is. A Shabbat consciousness is a way of living patiently and in sync with the changing rhythms of nature and not overreaching. It is working creatively and laboring with purpose for 6 days and then stopping, bracketing off a moment in time when the goal is not to have, but to be, and then beginning the process all over again. It is sowing the fields for 6 years and then allowing them to lie fallow, with rich and poor eating together. A Shabbat consciousness is a harnessing of, to quote Rav Soloveitchik, the dynamic tension between the capacity to exercise control over nature and the duty to act towards nature with a sense of fiduciary responsibility. It is the mindset that drives us towards first imagining and then building a world where even the maidservant's son and the stranger deserve to be refreshed once a week. Shabbat consciousness is less about gaining a taste or a tiny taste of the world to come. It's more about heightening the experience of this world and beginning to sense its infinite potentialities. Business left unchecked has a nasty tendency to cannibalize everything in its way. Shabbat consciousness, practiced regularly, is a partial antidote. By the way, don't try to explain this to your Turo friends. They're just not going to get the concept. So class of 2014, in just a couple of weeks, and assuming you complete our newly implemented student-centered curriculum, by the way, just as a point of clarification, you can still take 4 Bibles, Operation Research and Macro, if you want to. You just don't have to anymore. So in a few weeks, you will become full-fledged simians. I'm sorry, I meant to say full-fledged size simians. We have high hopes for you as you instill in us high hopes for our shared future. So in the end, we arrive back where we started, only stronger. Kedoshim Tihiyu. Make money, unleash your sacred energy into the world, and when you achieve success, and not just any success, I'm talking about Daniel Feldman's success, Ozer Glickman's success, and Charlie Harari's success. Hararian success, you might call it. Don't forget your old dean and your old alma mater when it comes time to give your maser. Just saying. And as my dad always says, the best is yet to come. Good luck in all your future endeavors. It is now my distinct pleasure to introduce a man who needs no introduction, President Richard Joel.
Good evening. I don't know, Avi Lauer is Professor Lauer. Charlie Harari is Professor Harari. I'm just President Joel. I've been teaching in Syms for 2 years now. The best class in Syms. Leadership in the not-for-profit world. Who better than me to teach nonprofit? So I have to say, so when we recruit and we look for things, can you tell me another business school in the world whose dean would give you a valedictory address about Kedoshim, about what he expects of you as contributors to society, builders of the world, and partners with the Rabboni Shalom, to graduates of our business school? Is there any further reason to understand why it's been so critical that you be here? To understand why it's been so important that in the last 3 years we said, okay is not good enough and Syms has to shine? Now, I don't think you should have said, this isn't what you get at Turo, I think you should have said, this isn't what you get at Wharton, and this isn't what you get at Stern, or any of those other lesser schools. But I think that's enormous, and I want to just start by saying that none of this would happen without a cadre of unbelievably committed faculty, who I did nothing but uproot comfort levels and say, do more, do different, do better, reach, reach, reach. And I didn't have to say it twice. They had to be told that we believe that they can do it. And what they've done together with you, and with your wonderful leadership, and with Dean Pava, and all of it, of course, couldn't happen without Henry Crisell, my boss, the chairman of the Board of Trustees, and his colleagues, is really something special, and that's what we celebrate. That's what we celebrate tonight. So I'm very happy to celebrate with you, but honestly speaking, and many of you know me, I'm here to celebrate you. To celebrate you, because this is a time for celebration. I also note that you have parents and grandparents here, and I needn't say anything except look at your children, and look who they are, and look how they're equipped, and look how we've been privileged to partner with you. Your story at Yeshiva has undoubtedly been one of growth in learning skills and erudition as superb business undergraduates. You've also worked towards a sense of shlemut, which is unique to this place. Now you head out into the world, and the world of business, where so much of our collective future, will be decided. Of my future, I have 5 grandchildren who are going to grow up in the world that you fashion. With that in mind, 3 points I want to make to you. I thought about this rather than just, hey, congratulations, see you at commencement. And I hope to see you at commencement. I already told one student who said, I'd like to come, but I just started a job, I can't get away. Okay, so let me write a note to the Simon Legree, who is your boss, who says you're working now, you can't go to graduation. I expect to see you there, and if you're not there, we'll talk about whether you get a diploma. Of course you'll get a diploma. But when we think about society in its current state, I've been thinking about this a lot, we have to think about the word technology and the challenges and opportunities that technology give us. Our world has changed extraordinarily rapidly. 4 years ago, I was at a conference sponsored by the President of Israel, and the keynote speaker was about technology, and the keynote speaker was the futurist and I think Harvard professor Ray Kurzweil. And he said something interesting. He said, if you want to look at the pace of change today, he said, so just in our lifetimes, the pace of change has gone from being arithmetic change to geometric change, to exponential change, to quantum change. Now there are over 4 billion cell phones in the world. Do you know that there are more text messages sent than there are phone calls? Right? The nature of change is unbelievable. We are living in times that are so amazing technologically that the challenge for you, and it's a really serious one because we confront it every day, is to say, how do you look at technology and lead it, not be led by it? John Kennedy, in his inaugural address, once said that man holds in his power the ability to end all forms of human suffering and all forms of human life. And we face that. You face that. We've worked with it, but you get it worse. And it's interesting, the ones who lead technology are the ones who make change, who just don't believe in technology but what its purpose was. When Samuel F.B. Morse invented the telegraph, you know the first message he sent? Extra points. No, what hath God wrought? Right? The Rabbanu Shalom was in the first message that was sent by telegraph, right? Over the Baltimore-Washington telegraph line in 1844. The first thing that Gutenberg published, the Bible, the first words, right? In the Torah, right? When does technology come into play? The first time, the Tower of Babel. What's another time it came into play? The building of the Mishkan. What's the difference? Both used technology. Both used technology. But to build the Tower of Babel, man used technology to usurp God. With the Mishkan, it was how do I partner with God to bring me to the heavens and God to earth, and to partner together. As people who will own the business world, your job is to channel that technology into that sacred partnership. Don't deny technology. Don't be like old people like me who curse at it and say, how can you multitask that way? Own it. You do own it. How wonderful what you've done tonight. but how smart it is also to know that there's a time to push that button and turn off the tweet. And that's what you have to do. So the first thing, you are in this world. Whatever field of business you enter, you're in it. But your sense of shleimut will bear fruit in your bettering society. You're going to make profits, but you also have to be prophets. And that's the message. The other piece that I wanted to talk to you about is that it seems that more than ever there is a sense that the economy, particularly in the United States, but I think worldwide, that the economy truly drives values. Your generation has that special passion that the dean spoke of, but also has a requirement, because it's life and death, to try to repair the world and create opportunity for the maximum number of people. You must use your business schools not just to create wealth, but to create opportunity. You have to challenge yourself to deal with what's out there in life. There is an increasing bifurcation of our society into the haves-a-lot and have-nothings, with an embattled middle class in the middle and the ladder of attainment drawn up. And that's a real challenge for the stability and the quality of your lives. It's possible that we are living in times where the quality of each of our lives is going to be imperiled by that kind of instability. So here's your opportunity, with all your training, with shleimut, with Torah Umada, with the ability and the desire to be entrepreneurial, with the capacity to create new economic engines and to do new things and to use the old things and bring your smarts to bear on it. Whether in finance, accounting, marketing, management, or entrepreneurship, how do you create wealth, and in so doing, create it not just for yourselves, but to help move towards a world of plenty? Plenty of opportunities, plenty of material things, plenty of goodness. You did not go to just any business school. You did not just go to any yeshiva. The last piece is to recognize that you are B'nai Torah, that you are B'nai Mitzvah. And just as your dean has committed his life to the synthesis of business and yashrus, to business and integrity, so you have to hold fast to these values. It's time. You have so far, not as companions to those values, but as values that are ingrained in your very being. Therefore, you form that network that will not only build Syms and Yeshiva University's reputation, not only will you contribute of your maser and your parents and grandparents as well to make sure that your world continues with Yeshiva University as a key part of it, but that you're going to continue to do what the Jewish people are supposed to do in not just giving Shabbos to the world, but giving light to the world. There was recently released on April 17th a study by the Pew study. Don't worry, I'm not going to talk again about the Pew study. But this Pew study was on the U.S. views of technology in the future. One of the main questions in the survey was, would you ride in a driverless car? Would you ride in a driverless car? By the way, the answer was about 50% said yes, 50% said no. A disproportionate number of those who said yes were younger people, and you can understand that. But I don't care about that. We're now having questions in our questionnaires as to whether you would drive in a driverless car. So the cars of tomorrow might not need drivers, but our lives do, and our world does, and you're going to be in the driver's seat. Mazel tov, see you at commencement.